the trust between the Dutch and the Khoisan was broken, and eventually the Khoisan were enslaved by the Dutch. This city, the farms, and the towns were built over almost 200 years by the enslaved people that were living in the Cape Colony.
So from here, going this way, this is the first street in South Africa.
Wow. The pulley, the assistants of the court of the clerk would bring this pulley down, and a prisoner would be chained to this pulley, head down and feet up, and would be hanged there, so the blood would rush through your head.
Hello guys, wonderful people around the world, my people in America, UK, Canada, Germany, Jamaica, United Arab Emirates, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, Cameroon, and any other part of the world. Guys, welcome and welcome back once again to the YouTube channel. This is the Pioneer YouTube channel, and I am _priceless. Coming to you straight up from Abuja, Nigeria, West Africa. Guys, another banger of a video. On today's episode, guys, we are, consolidating our niche on Wode, and we are trying to bring to your watching and viewing delights, the latest regarding how Wode has been using the sub-stories and framing narratives that has been exploitative in nature towards getting people worked up, towards getting people emotionally leading, towards getting people, a kind of self-induced defeat, towards making people, think or assume they could never amount to anything greater or anything good. Yes, guys, like I've been saying, or like you all know, Wode came into the consciousness, into the public limelight, into how he become the person that he is today via what? Exploitating content that there was psychologically, imbalance according to me in nature, where he has always exploited, narratives, frame narratives, push narratives, sub stories, sub sports, sub things that, it will, intentionally hit at the emotive part of viewers, hit at the emotive part of what? Followers and black people around the world. Guys, like you all know, if you've been watching me for a long time, you know that I am a Nigerian that is passionate, a Nigerian that is so, zealous of seeing the betterment of our continent, towards seeing how Africa should not and can never dwell on the past. Yes, let's agree, I am a history buff, and I believe in history, and I believe history forms the basis of where we are, where we were, or where we are coming from, and where we are, and where we are heading to. But I don't believe in history to take it to heart, those lamenting, always complaining, crying, or pushing blame, apportioning blame to people or those in the past we've had encounter with, and that is just what Wode has been doing. You can see in one of Wode latest uploads, like you've just watched, guys, you can see Wode brought us up to speed with the content regarding what? Cape Town. He named it how Cape Town, South African, the South African beautiful city, Cape Town was what? Built by slaves. And in that content, you can see he went through the history of the community, the history of the city, the history of the town, Cape Town. And I like the way those people he has interacted with, both blacks and the whites. They really gave a very good, vivid account of the country, the Cape Town, or the community, or the city. And it was really what? Expository in nature. It was really enriching. It was really what? Great. But I am not looking at that. I'm looking at the way Wode presented it, trying to remind people of what? Their past, trying to remind people of what? Their, long age history of what? Especially the South Africans or the black people around the world, of our past when it comes to racism, when it comes to, other things that black people have undergone or experienced in life. Bro, life is, you don't need to dwell on the past. Like I said, I believe in history. But the truth is, we don't need to dwell on the past. Let's trash the past in the past. Let's move forward with tenacity, sheer perseverance of making the best of ourselves and our communities. What can we do? Because we cannot erase the past. It is part of us. But what can we do? So instead of trying to, paint the picture, trying to get people emotional, trying to get people always downcasted, trying to make people always think of the gory past, we should be what? So great, so good, informed on how to make the right choices while forging ahead. Yes, my brother, Wode, we don't need to be dwelling on the past. We don't need to look at the past. We don't need to push for the past. What is the essence of bringing the past, of digging up the past, if reparation could not be paid? So, instead of digging the past, if reparation could not be paid, we should just seize the idea of the past. Move on. Let's be resilient. Foster a good future. Build a good future. Be a good, people for ourselves. Let's stand up for ourselves. It is unfortunate that our people had to go through that. It is unfortunate that our people had to go through those torments. It is unfortunate that our people were subjected to all those manners of, bad things. But let's not just be always reminding ourselves of those things. What is the lesson? What are the lessons we need to learn from that experience? And what can we do for that not to repeat itself? Or what can we do to take hold of our destiny as people forging ahead to conquer a common front? But bro, you always have this way of framing stories, framing narratives that they are, emotionally inclined. You don't need to. And that is why I've been calling on you, Wode. Do the needful, just like Marwa. Ensure you what? Give our people the best, impact our people, create impact in our people's life, leave, behind your wake transformational legacies, legacies that are what? Reckoning, legacies that are what? Lasting, legacies that are what? Can outlive you. Instead of trying to dig the past. Remember, I'm not saying the past is not important. And I'm not saying we should let the past lost. No. But the way you are creating the content look as if we should be dwelling on the past. We should just be crying over the past. We should just be grieving over the past. We should just be bitter over the past. We should just be bickering over the past. We should just be commenting, lamenting, tormenting, crying foul over the past. That is not what I am after, bro. I am after a people informed by their past shared experience, and what are they up to, and what can they do to change their situation. Because you can see, I don't know how you even got it wrong. Before, posting the Orania content, you must have posted this content first. Yes, this content should have come first before Orania content. But you went ahead and posted Orania content, and you can see misplaced priorities. To align and flow in a natural fluidity and a consistent way, the Orania content must have come after you must have posted the word Keftan content, so that it will inform people, it lay a vivid background and paint a vivid picture of what happened, where we are, and what led to the Orania to declare itself as a self-sustaining, independent enclave, or a colony, or a country inside another country. That would have made a huge lot of sense. That would have been it. That would have been the icing, the cherry on the cake, bro. But I don't know. Sometimes because you just want to get, views, you just post content that they are not aligning. They need to align. They need to move in a coherent sequence. But because you are just driven by what? Emotions to get pressed, to get people moving, to get people pressing you, to get people saying, what am I is this, what am I is that, what am I is this, this. You just post content offline or in misalignment. That's the right way, guys. You post content in misaligned form or misaligned fashion. That is not the best way to do it, bro. The Keftan content must have come first, then followed by Orania content. But we all know you posted Orania content before the Keftan content, and that does not make sense because you can see. Suppose if you can see for it to align, it would have made sense if Keftan content come first, then followed by Orania content. Yes. So this is how the Maya has been what? Invoking people's emotion. Bro, you don't need to be, looking for pity. We all nobody anything, and nobody owes us anything. So black people, black race, rise up, surmount the, challenges. Fashion your life just after the way Nigerians are doing. Nigerians have this resilient spirit. They can do spirit. They can never complain, and they can never cry because the blacks have been targeted with hate and racism around the world. No, a Nigerian can go into an unknown, territory and conquer it and set a new trailblazing legacy that is sustaining, and others could emulate from. Worthy of emulation. So I want each and every black person to be confident, bold, just like Nigerians. Do the needful anywhere you are. You don't need to be reminding yourself of the past. Yes, you are created in God's image. Black people, believe in yourself. You have the spirit to do it. You can do it. So stop sobbing. Stop crying over the past. The past is in the past. What can you do to remedy the situation? What can you do to give your life, yourself, your life, your generation, your children and grandchildren a better future? And that is why my Nigerian people have been doing it. We face the hinterland and we conquer it. We don't care. And we are not competing with anybody. And we are not scared of competition. And we don't indulge in toxic competition. We don't indulge in negative competition. We indulge in healthy competition towards uplifting one another, towards making the betterment of ourselves. So that is what I am clamoring for. That is what I am championing. Wode Maya, stop bringing. I don't want to. If you bring content like this, at the end of the content, you need to imbibe in your content solutions. The content should be solution-based. It's not just bringing what? Sub-stories, toxic narratives or bad experiences without solutions. Yes, your content should be solution-based. When you hit people at the emotive part, you get them self-awakening or thinking or thought-provoking in their thought processes. What need to follow suit is what? Solutions. What do you think could be done? Since we can't erase it, and it has formed a part of the thinking faculty on our psyche, collective psyche. So what can we do? But you cannot just create content, tell the world this is what happened, this is this, without figuring out, or without suggesting, or without recommending solutions. We have to be what? Solutions inclined. Your content need to be solution inclined. Wode Maya. So this is my own advice to you. Going forward, do something. Create content. After you brought issue, you brought challenge or bad experiences people must have gone through, then you provide solution for people. So that whenever people watch, at the end of the content, there are recommended solutions to be implemented. And the solutions should be suiting, should be great, should be something that should really, give people this relief, state of mind. Yes, like I said, we can't erase the past. But we can't keep dwelling on the past. We cannot be crying over the past. We cannot be lamenting over the past. It is time to chart a new course. It is time to write a new page, a new chapter 1 in the history of our collective interests. Yes, the damage has already been done. Like what you've said in the Orania content, the damage has been done. But what can we do to forestall future occurrences? What can we do to ensure our people will not, face this kind of challenge again. That is what we are after. So bringing content that there are no solutions at the tail end of the content, to me, I think it's just waste of time and waste of data. So they'll just be getting, you inform people with the experiences, then what should follow next? What should follow next? Something must follow to elevate. So that is what I felt like I should create this content and let you know, my brother, stop creating all those content if you know you don't have the solutions to proffer. The solutions you don't know. Who could be watching? Those leaders who are chasing them up and down, they could be watching. Maybe they may be looking forward to solutions that you could proffer to help implement policies across the African continent. But don't just bring stories. You arouse people's curiosity, bad experiences, and the rest without solutions. So this is how Wode has been doing, guys. I just said, let me bring this to our notice. Yes. So, wonderful people. It is really an absolutely amazing time here in Abuja, Nigeria. At the time I'm recording this content, it's just 19 minutes after 5 o'clock p.m. which is +1 GMT, West African time. That's the time I'm recording this content. 21st day of what? April 2025. It is nice always talking to each and every one of us. So we have time to talk to our brother today. Thank you, guys. Share it. Share my content, guys. Thank you to our new subscribers. Guys, I've never gotten time to really thank you. Thank you for, subscribing, hitting the subscription button. Guys, here we give you the best of content, and we're gonna continue giving you the very best of content. Guys, I'm always grateful for your time, for always coming back to watch the content. Here I'll continue telling the truth, I'll continue sharing the truth, and nothing but the truth in an objective manner. Yes, because when I decided to come on YouTube, I was inspired by Mawa to conquer my fears, and I did it, and I'm still doing it, and I'm here to stay, even though we are 1 year plus. I think 1 year, this is April, right? 1 year, 4 months or 5 months now, but I'm yet to both monetize, and I'm not in a hurry. But pretty soon, I know with your support, by sharing, by commenting, by engaging on this thing, very soon we're gonna be monetized, and also we're gonna hit YouTube this thing. And I promise my first salary from YouTube could be used to impact on people's life. That is my own way of giving back. I've been doing it. But whenever the first salary I'm gonna receive from YouTube, it must be used for the common good of people. I love seeing our people being great, just the way Marwa is doing. Yes. When God gives us platform, we should use it in a good way. It is not about self-centeredness. It's not about just acquiring and accumulating, wealth without helping people. So my people all over the world, it is always a delight. It is always a passion. It is always, my joy to talk to each and every one of us. Guys, see us again in our next content. One love. Bye-bye. Wonderful people. Yes, I'm going to respond to your comment. Bye.
Based on their expert knowledge of the field craft. In other words, they were very good at tracking those people who have run away in the forests. They were very good at even.
Dutch and the Khoisan were very positive.
And they brutally murdered the Khoi.
That is your tribe?
Yes, they impregnated some of our brothers and sisters, and yeah, that's how they also put the lineage. Yeah. Wow.
The trust between the Dutch and the Khoisan was broken, and eventually the Khoisan were enslaved by the Dutch. This city, the farms, and the towns were built over almost 200 years by the enslaved people that were living in the Cape Colony.
So from here, going this way, this is the first street in South Africa.
Wow.
The pulley, the assistants of the court of the clerk would bring this pulley down, and a prisoner would be chained to this pulley, head down and feet up, and would be hanged there, so the blood would rush through your head.
Yes, this place was also used for roll call for slaves. And how was it used? Every slave who was actually part of the Dutch East India Company, they actually belonged to a group, and every group had a team leader. And the team leader was supposed to have names, a list of names of the slaves. And when they would go out in the morning, they would first of all check who is available. And if there are a group of 20 slaves, and excluding the leader, at the end of the day, when they come back again, they would go through that whole list to find out